Hi, my name is Christine Stenquist, and we're putting patients before politics.
Christine Stenquist is a patient who refuses to accept the status quo. Medical cannabis gave her her life and her family back, and she's now a grassroots advocate of legalization on behalf of all patients in Utah. Once you meet her, you quickly realize that Christine is a force of nature. She's the power of one mom on a mission.
I spent a lot of time in bed. I was pretty bedridden for a long time, and the only visual I had is this apple tree outside my bedroom window. And I would get a good idea of what the seasons were like depending on what the tree's leaves colors were like. And I remember going into one fall and into a winter, watching all the leaves fall off the tree. And then there was this one lonely apple left at the very top of the branch on the tree. And I watched it over the fall and over the winter, and it just started to shrivel on the branch. Very much like what I was going through. It was right before I discovered cannabis. I felt like that shriveled fruit on the branch, and it was very telling to me of where I was mentally and emotionally.
I remember your first time when you confronted me about the cannabis thing, and you're like, this actually helps me. And then I saw it for myself, and it was amazing. I've never seen like you good before in my life, and I'll never forget like how astonished I was. Like, she's actually moving, she's going to the park, she's hanging out with people, and I couldn't believe it.
I'd been down since 1996, and that's when the World Wide Web went up. And 16 years later, my son, who was a senior in high school, said, "Mom, you really got to get connected to the world. You got to see what's out there. You need to go on Facebook." I'm like, what the heck is Facebook? And he did. He showed me how to make a profile, get on Facebook. And even from there, I didn't know what to do. I didn't have friends. I didn't have community connections. I wasn't in the world. And so he taught me how to play the games, and then taught me how to socialize with them in private messages. And from there, I learned of all the other groups and started talking to people privately. From that point, we got those people who were interested in our issue and dumped them into our own private Facebook group, and then that's where we started our activism. We really got involved.
The way you were talking to me about certain stuff, how you had issues with things and how you wanted to go about like helping people and spread the word on certain topics of your brain tumor and getting better and how relief has helped you, I was like, you probably should connect with people rather than, because I saw you just stayed at home and didn't talk to a lot of people, so I thought Facebook was the perfect thing for you. So that's why I directed to you, kind of showed you you can actually socialize with people in groups and do this, and then it helps you get clicks with people better. And then you did, and then you like kind of took off after that, and I was like, hell yeah.
In our group, we have libertarians, we have Democrats, we have Republicans, we have people who just don't care about politics, but this movement awakened something in them, and so they really start to come out. They want to know more, and they become hungry. And now, we have that group of 160 people that they just hang on my every word, and when I go silent, they're like, what's happening, what's happening, what's happening? Right. So that's cool. That's cool to make people just that engaged. So I like it. Being connected on Facebook, it gave me that opportunity to actually reach out and be connected to somebody, even though they're on the other side of the city or even on the other side of the state. And so it really shrunk that platform for us. It really shrunk the distance between each activist. You have to think strategically when you're in a state like this. People throw their hands up and become apathetic, like, oh, I don't have any political power here. You look at what you have, what resources you have. This is the card you're dealt. So with the cards you're dealt, what can you do? The cards I was dealt was, okay, I'm a sick patient. I have nobody, I know nobody in this state. I don't have any rich friends. What can I use to my advantage? Media. Stories sell. They absolutely sell. And people, that moves them to do something.
Christine Stenquist has advocated for Utah patients like herself in need of medical marijuana.
Somebody told me 3 years ago this would never happen in Utah. Utah would be the last state that would ever adopt such a program. A lot of patients just don't have time. We've had people who have fled since the session because they need access and they needed it now.
Medical marijuana advocate Christine Stenquist says it may be time to take it to the people with a ballot initiative.
I think whoever is working on and wanting to do a ballot initiative should go ahead through with it, because if nothing else, it will be the thing that keeps these guys in place.
So if I put enough patients from varying backgrounds, somebody's going to relate to that particular patient and then it's going to move them to action. And that's exactly what happened.
My name is Amanda Ellis Graham. I live with MS and cannabis has changed my life.
Hi, this is Ashley. She has epilepsy. I'm Doug, her dad, and medical cannabis has changed our lives.
Hi, my name is Nathan Frotcham. I have degenerative disc disease and medical cannabis has changed my life.
My name is Emily Lene Sharp. I am a chronic pain sufferer and medical cannabis has changed my life.
I knew that not everybody was going to identify with me. I needed, that fire chief in there. I needed that, commissioner in there, that farmer in there. I needed that wide section of the population to speak up. And they needed somebody who was willing to be out front and say, I'll be the shield, I'll take the brunt, I'll be the one that says I use it. And then I became, that sort of role model. My first interview that I did, it went really well. And afterwards, I just talked to the reporter and asked him, if I brought more patient stories, would you share them? Because we don't have a big, large budget to get this movement out there, but we needed the press to share these stories and the plight of some of the other patients. And they agreed, and they've been fantastic.
Ashley has Angelman syndrome, which is a type of, using an old school term, it's a type of retardation. It's a developmental delay. Mm-hmm. One of the aspects of that is epilepsy. Most kids with Angelman syndrome start having seizures around the age of 18 months. We were fortunate because Ashley went until she was 18 before she decided to start having seizures. Oh, wow. But when she started having them, she was having some full-blown tonic-clonic grand mal full-body seizures. We tried a lot of different drugs. We tried 5 different treatments with Ashley with no success, still having breakthrough seizures, full body seizures, and the side effects were horrific. She was pretty much turned into a zombie. The child that we knew wasn't there. We tried adding THC while we were over in Colorado.
Oh, okay.
And she had her first 0 seizure day in years. I couldn't believe that just because we were on the other side of a state line, we were not allowed to treat our... I'm getting kind of emotional here. Why do you do this to me? So she went from 24 seizures a day to 0 while we were over there.
Just by adding one cannabinoid?
Yeah. I think that the thing that really pushed me into lobbying for THC was just the idea that we knew that it worked. Why can't we have it here?
Real people at a press conference sends the lobbyists running.
They do, absolutely they do. It's been amazing to see that citizen lobbyists have power, and you don't need a lot of money, just that press that helped.
I was reaching out to anybody, as I said, friends in Colorado, people in the industry, and we were just getting all kinds of phone numbers and recommendations, and Christine was one of them. And so very early on, I sought her out and wanted to understand her story, and wanted to have her put me in touch with other people that she knew that had helped her to get to where she was. As she got involved in the process and saw what we were up against, she immediately recognized the importance of having that patient community engaged. She was able to reach out and to identify the various patient groups, and she was able to go out and liaison, help them understand the process. I mean, down to the detail of scheduling. We wanted patients up here every day.
A unique challenge for organizing patients using medical cannabis is mobility.
Right.
And how would you ever get them together or to the state capitol? And this was part of how you solved that problem.
It was letting them know when certain things were happening, because there isn't a network out there that's telling the community, hey, this is happening next, you should show up. So we became that voice, we became that informer to them to let them know, so they could plan to make it up there, or if they couldn't make it up there, they would send in their letters, and so I could drop them off, or other activists who were going to be there could drop those letters off to their legislators for them.
Started lobbying as a firefighter with lots of labor issues going on up here. I already had a lot of contacts. I'd already been doing quite a bit of lobbying up here on the Hill, and I used those contacts. And that's, I think, something that a lot of people don't realize is you can't just go to a legislator with a problem and say, hey, you need to do something about this. Those relationships have to be in place beforehand. You have to make friends with those people that are going to be making the laws, so that they know you on a personal level, so that one of my senators knows this child and they realize, wow, I've got to help Ashley. I've got to do something for this kid.
One of the big things that did keep me coming to lobbying, because it is intimidating to go up there, is just even walking into the building and turning the corner and seeing a familiar face, and seeing someone that you wanted to meet from Facebook or in the group, or just to keep you going, to keep seeing the other patients and having that unity and having strength in numbers, and just, it's a beautiful thing.
My first day up here lobbying for truce, as I recall, we were just meeting and talking with each other, with senators, and trying to bring up their awareness that this is not a stoner movement. This is very much a patient-centered movement. This is people like me, like many others, who are just trying to get on with their lives, who have failed. Most of us have hit a wall. We've tried everything. We've tried every medical option. You know, once you find that truth and something works for you, you just want to get involved, and that's what I, wanted to do up here.
That's really compelling to me and to legislators, to hear from people that are really affected. So many times you legislate and govern from way up here, and it's the same complaint I have about, the way we treat teachers. Why don't you ask a teacher, how our policies ask them, why not ask a patient? Exactly. So, I made that analogy and saw you as a powerful spokesperson, in part because you're really smart. I can see that intelligence, in you. I can hear that, but you also have a really compelling way of talking to people, and you have emotional impact, but at the same time, you're backed by facts and evidence, and that really is what makes the difference to me as a policymaker.
4 years ago, I couldn't get one legislator to pass one bill, let alone now we're going to be graveling over 3. So that's pretty amazing. That's getting them hopping, and that's what I think the citizens need to do, is apply the pressure so they do work for us. But they have to act. They have to speak up. They have to get involved.
It helps me feel like I can help others who can't be here, who are too sick in bed to get up on the Capitol and come and speak their voice. And speak their story. So really the lobbying efforts, even when I don't feel well and I'm up here working or on Facebook or speaking with other legislators, it just makes me feel good that we are getting some movement and I'm able to help others who can't help themselves right now.
What would you say to somebody else who came across, not necessarily the medical cannabis issue, but any issue they felt moved to do? What would you say to them?
Do something about it. Go up, do something about it.
Show up.
Yes.
Get involved.
Yes.
What I've accomplished is giving patients a voice in the policy process here in Utah. And I think the more we do that and we actually have a representative on the Hill, the more things will change.
I had we'll just call him a friend of ours that we both mutually know, and he goes, I don't want this to sound the wrong way, but I'm pretty sure I would marry you so I could be related to your mom. And I was like, oh, thanks. I'm so flattered. but that's really funny to me is how many of the people in my social setting that are like my friends that like I go and get stupid with or just like spend my weekends with will be talking about some name and I'm like, it sounds really familiar because it's my mom's name, and people freak out and they get so excited. I mean, my friend Amber, she hunted me down in the middle of the night and she was like, "Your mom's Christine Stenquist?" I was like, "Yeah, she birthed me and everything."
You're a Stenquist.
And she, I mean, I hooked you guys up because she was like, "I want to help her. Like, I don't know what I can do." It's really interesting how many people get so excited and passionate and motivated, which is something that I feel like for a long time we didn't have in our politics, is everyone had just kind of been like, what's the next pile of crap that we're gonna have to deal with? Like, I get proud, like, I don't deserve to get proud, I didn't do anything to be proud, but I have really, like, proud moments, so.
Thank you. Thank you.
Love you, Mom. You're all grown up.